This textiles factory in the north of England is no stranger to ALW exploration. We filmed part of it last year, the only part accessible at the time. We have put a link in the description box for this explore. Often passing here we drop in to see if it is open, but it's usually sealed tight. However, one winter's morning we were lucky. It was open, so in we went. Before we start, here is some history on the place. The company description formed around these values. Specialising in the manufacture of fake fur and fleece fabrics, a new generation textile business, geared for the way the world operates today. A first choice partner in textile innovation, working closely with designers, retailers, manufacturers and industrial customers all over the world. Constantly developing new techniques and finding fresh applications for the fabrics. This was a thriving business and employed nearly 80 staff, from engineers to sales and machine operators. A full order book from market-leading brands such as Marks & Spencer and Pierre Cardin led to a multi-million-pound buyout in 2001. But this is where the cracks started to form in the business strategy. On the 11th of June 2013, Companies House warned the directors of the textile factory the company would be struck off and dissolved within 3 months. The directors avoided this by filing an annual return, but the business eventually collapsed with the loss of all the employees' jobs. Due to various reasons, the company wasn't dissolved until the 5th of August 2020. Let's now explore the next part of this textiles factory. Let's go. Hello there, so we're in the stores area where they've got big rolls of material. All different rolls and a big conveyor belt they use to move things around. That big roller up there. Let's have a look this way. It's really rather cold today, and we don't want to disturb anyone. Decay is really starting to set in now. Some parts look new like this, but a lot of them, the moisture's getting to them now and it's just getting trashed. The weather's, nature's starting to take over, take it back. Boiler house coming up, so I'll put the light on to get a bit more better footage for you. But we've just been discussing, this hasn't actually been smashed up by people, it's just literally the roof's come in, the roof's rotted and fallen down and then stuff started growing. But there's all like light fittings, they're all the tubes or what people call bulbs, not smashed. I mean, there's a few things like the doors fell off, but I think that's just from being, this has been closed, what, 15, 16 years now. It's just been, it closed real suddenly and it's just been like this ever since. So, and the forklift's still there. Forklift truck. Just parked up. Oil.
I don't think you're getting in there.
What's that?
Something should be oil tank.
Oh, there's the oil tank rotted through.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It looks like the oil system's burst. Maybe a flexible hose has burst on the oil system there. And all the oil's come out for the boiler. Unfortunately, it's made a right mess. Yeah, I think a pipe's burst, mate, and it's all spattered out. Really thick, it's like tar. Might be able to get around that way. We'll go in there soon. But we'll just we'll explore around here first, because this tar's really horrible. It's like engine oil, and you get it on your feet, and it's really sticky, messy. I bet that still works. Ford truck. TV there, not just sat there. Old Toshiba. That looks like a water tank, maybe demineralised water. And that's the bottom of the chimney. I'm hopefully going to drone that in a bit. I'll hopefully get the drone up, as long as there aren't too many people around, because it's in A2 airspace, which I'm allowed to fly in, but a lot of people don't like drones for whatever reason. But I'll try and drone the chimney. Oh, I've still got his number plate on. It's cool to see a forklift truck like that. That's the battery charger for the forklift. Now this here, that is a charcoal filter for a water softener. It has all beads in it. The water in this area has got quite a lot of limescale in it, and to put the limescale into the machines, because some of the machines use water for different processes, if you put limescale in, it scales them all up. Don't know if some of you have got a domestic kettle at home, when you turn it on it like crackles. That's the limescale heating up. It doesn't do complex machines any good. So you have this, you have a water softener here that connects up to the water inlet, and then the water inlet comes in here, goes through this machine here, it goes through this filter bank, and it can also add, this is a salt hopper, so in here there might be granules of salt in the bottom. Yeah, see the salt in the bottom. It's got a float valve. Yes, the salt adds to the mixture and it reduces the hardness of the water, so it's called a water softener. That's what this is. Got some the bags of salt that you put in, water softener, and then yeah, some electrics. Some sort of pump controller. Water meter and the valves. This is just the control system for this tank. This was very likely demineralised water or softened water from this water softener that they then used for the machines. Some pumps there. That bit sticking out there, that's a tank level sensor. So they can have an electronic gauge somewhere else saying how much water's in that tank, without having to come down here and have a look in a sight glass or whatnot. Yeah, it's quite cool to be at the bottom of a chimney for a mill. That's what that is. Looks like it was a store. Still things in tubs. Old dye house buzz bars. Should go in the boiler house. Let's try it. I don't want to stand in that tar. See if we can get in this way. Now that's a big gas pipe that's been added afterwards. So this boiler's originally been oil and then they've converted it to gas because gas was cheaper and less messy, because you end up with oil everywhere like we have down here. So we don't want to stand in that. I want to go this way around it. That's an old sight glass into the boiler. They're like, they won't call like drizzy cloths. They're cloths to soak oil leaks up. It's called like an ID fan. This is a fan that blows large amounts of air into the boiler. There's a speed controller for the fan. See here, power's still on. Still on for some reason. Look at this boiler. Massive. Great big thing. It's in top condition as well. It's not smashed up. Control section. That's awesome, that thing. Looks magnificent. It's got two big burners on the front. This big oil gauge here. Oh, that's actually a steam gauge. Pounds an hour of steam. That's the steam total. It's in fantastic condition. So up down here from the boiler. It's stuck in the oil though. Kosh data log. Look at these boiler burners. It's intact. All the gauges are good condition. That's the actual fuel. That's the fuel gauge. They used to call it pins. Like that's on pin 3, like up to pin 10, which was 100%. That was like the fuel and air mix. So this side, like this is an actuator, and it moves these rods, and that turns the fuel up and down into the burner, and this turns the air up and down on a damper there, letting more air into the burner. Then it was combusted. Because to combust you need a certain ratio of fuel and air to mix to then combust. It sort of goes in there, swirls round and then in through an injector, and then it's combusted. That big fan and that big oil pipe there. And then, as we know, it was later converted to gas. Here, that's the gas pipe going in. So this is actually a dual fuel because it looks like they've left the oil in and they've had gas added. Yeah, the gas valve's shut.
Go for that door there to your left.
Yeah. Yeah, so going through, I'll look at some tanks. All these rolls of linen, all just left here. So this way, Paul. This way, yeah. All different materials, all for different things. These had a big contract with Marks and Spencers, and they had loads of orders, loads of work. They employed 70 people here, but the plug was pulled on it due to financial reasons, and it closed very suddenly. All the stock, just full of stock. This way. Now these look like compressed air bottles. That's what they look like to me. They look like compressed air. I might be wrong. I'm still looking. It looks like a water system, but these cylinders look like compressed air unless they were like accumulators, like water accumulators. Or again, like before, so it's like a saline tank. This may have been a massive water softener. Like I showed you in the other building near the boiler, I think this is a water softener because that looks like a salt hopper at the back. Yeah, the brine tank. That's a salt hopper. This is a big water softener. Compressed air system down there. That's an air compressor. This looks like a water system. Air units. This is a compressed air bottle, £110 or £1,100, 1110 pounds. One of the ones is missing. Welded air cylinder. There's a butterfly. This is real nature taking over a factory. Look around here. I could hear that moth making that noise. Can you hear it? I've loads of food in here. Opening and closing its wings. to all the stock. Paul's just waiting. You okay, Paul? We decided to leave at that point, but we returned a few weeks later and the workshop area was open. It's a real Urbex paradise in here, so keep a lookout for this video coming soon. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to receive notifications of new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 PM UK time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
Looking over my shoulder, looking back at your door.